everyone. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins, and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Food Yoga International, and you can help me help them by donating to our fundraiser here on Twitch, visiting their website, which I posted in the chat, or simply by watching my streams and bringing your friends, because I'll be making my own donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. If you enjoyed today's stream, please support my creative work by becoming a Twitch subscriber to remove ads and get cute emotes, joining my Patreon for illustrated postcards and prints in the mail, or sending me some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. Links to all these are in my Twitch About section or in the YouTube description if you're watching the recording. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for illustration, and I'm back to work on my Onomatopoeia bees. I've been working on this all week. Actually, I've been working on this for months now, and every day we get closer and closer to done. Yesterday, we left off here doing the shadow 2 on which bee? On this bee. And I remember I wanted to take a look at it today with fresh eyes before moving on, but already it looks pretty good. I think we're going to be able to just go ahead and move on to the next bee. Let's zoom in a little bit, see what it looks like a little closer. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I put the little texture detail on the... This part is actually bald on the bee. The rest is fuzzy. Well, not their face, but you can't really see their faces because they're all looking down, looking for the pollen and nectar and everything they look for in the flowers. But I think that's good. I don't think I need to do anything else. That's awesome. That means the next one, ooh, we're taking on this big bee. So we'll make a new layer. Name it Shadow 2 and clip it. Boom. Oh, I just remembered. Yesterday, Soyamon was so wonderful to raid me, and even though I don't think they are here right now, I can still do a shout out. I just completely forgot that's a thing that you do, so let's do a shout out real quick to Soyamon. Thank you so much for the raid yesterday. I also changed my chat settings so that now people don't have to be in chat jail. Oh, Pichu is here. Pichu is here with a lurk. Thank you. So people don't have to be in chat jail if they're new to Studio Mikarts on Twitch. You just have to follow. That way I hope will be a nice balance between keeping spammers away, which we have had in the past, and you have to like take your time to go block the message and blah blah blah. So hopefully that will keep spammers away, but also let people actually chat with me. So I've changed that setting since yesterday. Alright. Yay, I'm so glad I did that shout out then. Thank you for joining me, Pichu. Hope you're having a great day. So, I've got my new shadow layer made. Now I'm going to move my keyboard and mouse over to my right so that I can pull my Wacom tablet monitor. It's a Cintiq tablet, which means you get to draw directly on the screen. It's super awesome. So I have to pull that down into my lap. So now my physical workspace is updated so that I can use my stylus to do the actual drawing here. And I want to first choose my secondary shadow color. We're going to select the primary shadow color and then go back in to the color selection. We're going to make it a little bit cooler to start and then a little bit darker. Same formula as always. Oh, that looks pretty good. So choose that color. Now with this bee, we're going to be getting a lot of highlights over here because these yellow lines, which are on a separate layer here, they're just here to remind me which direction the light's supposed to be coming from. So that means the stronger shadows are going to be right here because this heart shape, this is actually where the wings grow out of the bumblebee. So this is the highest point on the bumblebee's body. in this pose. So there's going to be some shadow cast here, and then each little ridge of fuzziness is probably going to have a little bit extra dark shadow. And then right here, because the bee isn't flat, it actually curves, this is probably going to be all in shadow, and maybe we'll just have a few little highlights. Let's put highlights in quotes. Highlights, but what it will be is this primary shadow color showing through. So let's start by just getting a really big brush and putting a bunch of shadow on there, and then as usual we'll carve that back. Just add the shadow and then we'll bring it back. So we really want to make sure to get it here. I actually use the what is it called? It's a little sparkly. Oh, magic wand, I think is what it's called. It doesn't want to tell me. Magic wand. Magic wand tool. To deselect, well, to select and then reverse, I think. So we're going to go to shadow 1, use magic wand, select this. Whoa. Well, I guess it will work. I forgot, I still have all this stuff. This isn't showing because it's clipped to the bottom layer. But I think this will still work, so get over here, change the blending mode to... Oh, will it work? Will this work? Oh, I've got to select inverse. Select inverse. What I want to do is preserve these beautiful shapes that I've already carved into the first layer of shadow. So now we're going to shadow 2. Yay! This is what I wanted to do. I don't want to lose these lovely shapes or have to draw them again. So by doing it this way, I can cut those shapes back in. So we'll do the same thing. I can't do it there. We'll do it here. Do it where I can. Won't work right there. Alright, it's not going to work right there. That's okay. Alright, excellent. So we'll deselect. Let's save real quick. So now this darker shadow color is in the same shape. It's a little rough. I wish I didn't do that, but it's better than having to redraw each of those things on their own. Alright, let's go back here. Work from the back forward, I think. And okay, so this is what we want, but we want the size of the brush to go down, and we'll cut more of those kinds of shapes in back here. Moving our way across. It's probably going to be another relatively quiet stream because it's just more of this stuff where I'm having to make little micro decisions every second or even more frequently, and it's not the kind of thing that's easy for me to narrate, so hopefully it's not boring. Hopefully it's fun to watch, even if it's not as interesting to listen to. today's stream. You can still hear the fans in my room. I got my small fan going. The one for me, not for my computer. I already had that going during my writing time today. It's so warm in here. And of course the fans on my PC are starting to pick up now too. You can hear that, and you can hear the scraping of my stylus on the screen. Oh, I love these colors. They look so good. Okay, let's do some more. Moving up to the next layer of fuzzies. No, I don't like how that turned out. Let's try it a different way. Oh, well, don't take that back. Well... And these lines are really rough where I used the lasso tool. But overall I don't think it's a problem because it's the same kind of roughness as my lines, so it still matches. As the black ink lines. They were originally drawn with physical media ink and then digitized. I'm going to focus primarily on cleaning up where these big fuzzies are, and then I will refine the other edge. And there's one more section. And then we'll do the opposite edge of this shadow. Let's go back down to the bottom. So here that opposite edge is really random because I was just kind of filling in. So now we'll get a little bit more specific with it. I'm actually going to take this back. It's a little bit too big. Shouldn't be that big. The divide is not that deep, I don't think, between one segment of this fuzzy part of the body and the next segment. So I've got a little conflict going on here because I already have a layer of a shadow there. I think I just need to make it smaller. I thought maybe it could work just having it right next to each other overlapping, but it's not looking right, so let's really pull back on the darker shadow. I'm trying to be careful not to lose these lovely little curving shapes that I've created and tried to preserve all this time. And zoom out and see what that looks like. Might be a little bit too much to have that extra shadow there, actually. I might just take that away. So we do have these black lines which will eventually be colored in to better match whatever color it's illustrated, whatever color the aspect of the illustration is being depicted by those lines. Yeah, I'm going to try taking away the secondary shadow completely in these areas where I've already got the primary shadow doing that same work. Let's get a bigger eraser. So we'll take it up to this point, and maybe we'll have the secondary shadow take over where the primary shadow leaves off right here. So we can have this sort of line continuing, and it's already pretty much doing that. So just continue on. Just let it match up a little better, maybe. Something like that. And over here, the B, so again, the B is not flat. The B is a curved, round, three-dimensional object. So I think over here we actually would have some shadow from where the body is curving away from the light source. So let's cut back in some highlights. Maybe I should bring the shadow up more. And then we'll cut in the highlights. Way more. There, yes. There it goes. Tower fans ramping up. That's how hot it is in here today. Oh, I think that looks good. Let's zoom out and see what it looks like. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm gonna actually reduce it a little bit though. Or maybe bring the shadow 1 color up. What? I didn't change color. Let's change the color first. Maybe that'd be better. Oh yeah, that's much better. So now this line continues almost unbroken. Before it was having a weird dip right here. Now it just continues on. But maybe a couple lines there will help the transition. Well, yeah, that looks pretty good. Excellent. So now we have a sort of blueprint for how to approach this next layer, because it's pretty much the same. Other than right here, I do think that we need that extra layer of shadow because of how high up this portion of the body is. It's above because the wings are coming out from here, from under this tuft, from under each of these tufts. You know what though? I think I'm going to add a little bit of secondary shadow here before I move to that next segment. Good. And I guess So before we move up, let's finish up down at the bottom because I wanted to add a little bit, cut some highlights into this section too. So when I'm thinking of the light coming from this way, maybe, so we wouldn't have the light here because this is overhanging. Maybe we could have a little bit. Something like that. Let's see what that looks like. So we could have reflected light coming in from elsewhere as well. Like this big huge flower right here. Although this is supposed to be even higher up than that flower. But still, they're outside, there's reflected light coming from everywhere. This is coming from the ground even. Plus it's just more interesting to look at it like that. Similarly, let's just add some dots here. This part is not fuzzy. This is the very end of the bee. No fuzzy on there, but we'll put little dots to make it more interesting, show the texture, and have some suggestion of reflected light from the environment. Yay! Okay, let's save. Always want to be saving. Save, save, save. Okay, so we can move on now because we've got all this figured out. We're just going to do a similar thing here. I won't deny doing these really big bees is intimidating. It's so big, there's so much detail. With the teeny tiny bees, you can fudge it with a few lines and it's like, well, that's good enough. It's not as easy to do that with these ones. Right here, I think I'll do the same thing that I did. I was going to say downstairs. No, in that previous segment of the body, we're just going to remove the shadow right here. Zoom out, see what that looks like. Wait, is this a little leftover pixel? Oh, it is. Okay, let's come over and work on it on this side next. I'm going to get a slightly smaller brush. This is too high up right here. Let's not have this touching right here. This is called a tangent, where these two are touching. I don't want tangents. Those are distracting. Oh, I almost did it again. No tangents. How's that looking? Pretty good. Still feels a little bit, but is this supposed to be up higher? So maybe, but it's just so close to the edge of the. Let's bring it back again. Bring it way back. Now it makes these shadows look too big. So which do I prefer? I'm going to make them a little bigger here, and then we'll taper off. Just keep going back and forth until it looks right. That has been my MO this whole time. And that MO works because the point of this illustration is not to be naturalistic and for people to recognize, oh, these must be Hunt's bumblebees or whatever. It's supposed to be, oh, these are bees, so this must be the sound that bees make. And that's the message. If I can get that message across, then my illustration is successful. Especially if, even though they are super rainbow neon bees, and they're still recognizable as bees, that's all that matters. And I'm not just saying that to inform everyone watching, I'm saying that to remind myself as well. The trap of perfectionism is real, but I've gotten really good through serious work to learn how to avoid the trap of perfectionism, because perfectionism is like a siren calling, saying, oh, look how wonderful it would be if you can make it perfect. If you could just make it perfect, your life will be perfect and you'll live happily ever after. And actually, that's not how perfectionism works at all. It actually sabotages you. It keeps you from finishing anything and makes you question everything you do, and it's ultimately destructive rather than constructive. So I want to use my attention to detail to create the best thing I can, but I don't want to let that get away with me and prevent me from creating at all. I think that looks much better. And we do have this sense. I'm blurring my eyes a bit, and we have this sense of distance now for this heart-shaped section being lifted a little bit from the section below, which is exactly what I wanted. So that means I'm just going to do a little bit more refining this part. I guess I don't want to erase all the way away from there. But we'll erase really close to it. It's a bit small. Let's try this larger brush. Oops, I don't want that kind of shape. Slightly different shape. Ah. Let's make it smaller and see what it looks like super small. It looks pretty good. I feel like maybe it's a bit flat right here. And that is a shadow 1 problem. Because with the light coming from this direction and the way the bee curves down, I don't think we'd be getting some highlights. Like over here we've got some flat areas. That's okay because we're going to add a highlights layer later. We wouldn't have anything from that here. So let's add some more shadow 1 color to this area. give it some more texture. That might be enough. Just a little something. Yeah, that's pretty good. Save that. That's pretty good. Yay! Okay, let's move on then. B center middle. What's this little green one? Make a new layer. Shadow 2. Oh, I got an extra letter in there. Clip it. And we want to figure out what color we want for this secondary shadow color. Make it a little bit cooler. And a little bit darker. So this one seems fairly easy. We'll just color it in where it seems good. Sure. The side of the antenna. This brush is a lot bigger than the one I used before, so let's try to get a similar size. Oh, we can add a little bit more over here too. Smaller bees are so much easier. Sweet save. Let's save. Also, I want a drink of my delicious cold herbal tea because it's so warm in here. Fan is doing a good job of keeping me cool enough that I'm not sweating, but it's right on the edge there. It's really close. So something I feel like I want to go back on some of these larger bees. Maybe not these small ones like this. So it's so small, especially when it's printed. Probably won't even see that level of detail, but here I added the little bit of speckle texture. And I think I did it somewhere else, but I'm not seeing it. I thought I did it somewhere else. But anyway, I liked it so much. I mean, I've definitely done it on the flowers here, but I mean for this little bald spot. Oh, it was this little bald spot here. Well, it's not bald, because bald implies that it would normally be hairy, but it's not. This is how it's supposed to be. Anyway, I want to go back and add that texture. Because I like it. It makes it more interesting. So let's go with this here. Let's see. To discover this layer, I go to the Move tool and Shadow 1. And we'll double check by turning the layer off. Yep. So I just want to Shadow 2, copy this color. Oops, if I was on the brush tool. Copy this color and just add some little texture. Yeah, I love that. We could do the same here. Ah, wrong color though. Let's get the right color. It's so much more interesting. You could do it on the head too. Not all of them have the smooth part of their head showing, but this one does. Yeah, I love it. It's so much more interesting. Save. So what's the next one? Let's try this one. Oh, which one? Bloom B center up. So this one's got to be this layer. Okay, so it's Shadow 1 we want to work with. Nice. Okay, who else can we do this with? So we won't bother with these tiny babies. Done it with this one. This one will have to do with the highlight. And this is the one we were just working on. So we'll go with this one. Oops, I thought I selected the tool. There we go. Oh, that's so much better. It's overall the same shape, but those few little dots, a dozen little dots adds so much texture to the overall character. I think that's everyone we've done so far that I didn't do that to. Who's big enough to bother doing that with. So next on our list is this little one. Oh, right, I need to make it leg first. I'm going to call it Shadow 2. Clip it. Zoom in. And, oh look, I have a little spot I missed. Right, let's fix that first. There. Now, select a darker, well, a cooler and darker shadow color. This one's so tiny, it'll be relatively easy. And it's facing away at a convenient angle for the lighting. In fact, it's probably going to be all in shadow right here because, again, this part and this part is higher up on the body. So it's casting additional shadow. Yeah, probably just something like that. Oh shoot, I was doing this all the wrong layer. Nope, let's do this again. Good thing it's easy. Wait, how did I get on the wrong? What? Well, we're on the right layer now. Oh, maybe I put that. No? That mark is on the correct layer. Oh, I don't know how I got on the wrong layer. Okay. Try again. Yes. Take two. And let's double check. Okay. past break time. Well, we will go on break as soon as I'm done with this last details on this bee. Sounds like one of the pups is having a dream. I hear little toenails clicking on the floor. I don't know who it is though. You can tell how hot it is because Chappie's not even all the way in the puppy cam. She keeps laying partially, and sometimes she gets out of the bed and lays fully on the hard floor, and it's gotta just because it's so cool compared to laying in the bed. Oh yeah, I can see. It's Chappie. Oh, you can't see her feet moving because it's off the camera. That's what that tapping is though. A little bit more texture in here. Definitely more depth, but also feels a little bit strong now with the way the shadow 1 color. Maybe the shadow 1 color is just a little bit too dark, because this one feels so bright. So I'm going to change the color a bit. And shadow 1 will lighten it up a little bit. So that there's more of a transition happening instead of this stark, super bright, dark. It's definitely making a difference. Oh, not too bright though. Let's make sure to change the saturation so that we're not getting a faded color though. I guess this is just a tough color. Yeah. The more saturation I add, the brighter it gets. So I'm actually bringing the lightness down. It's a much better contrast here. And I think it's better transition from here to here. So let's see what that looks like zoomed out. Yeah, that feels better. Now I think I shall just add a little bit more of this color. We're way past break time, but it just feels too sudden. A break right here. So let's fix this while it's in my head. And then we'll go on break. Yeah, maybe all it really needs is just a little bit more texture, which will also bring shading. Over here we're going to get a lot of highlighting when we do the highlights layer. I think that looks a lot better. Yes. Okay, so let's save. And take a break. I encourage everyone to take this opportunity to get stretched and refreshed. I'm going to put my be right back sign on, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. everyone, I'm back. I hope you had a great break. I am all stretched and refreshed and ready to get back to work. See, we finished up with this B, and yes, indeed, that color change still looks good to me on Shadow 1, so let's move on to the next B. As I thought, it's a pink one. Make a new shadow layer, Shadow 2. And clip it. Zoom in, choose our secondary shadow color. Little cooler and a little darker. This is another easy one because it's so tiny and it's right against the light, so it's not hard to think about where the light should be hitting. It's just right here. There it is. Boom. Almost forgot this antenna. There. Yeah, it looks good. Next, it's the bottom purple one. One of the larger ones. Hold on a second. My hair clippies are starting to hurt my head a bit. Probably because of the stretching I was doing. I was doing some different yoga poses. Oh, that's better. Okay. Alright, so this purple one's a new layer. Shadow 2. Clip. Alright, let's actually pick a color. Okay, I was on clear mode anyway, so that's good. Let's pick the shadow. Oh look, I missed a spot. Another missed spot. There's so many of these throughout the image. I don't know how I managed to do that, but there, got it now. From the Shadow 2 layer and cooler and darker purple. It's hard to decide how to approach this one. It's not bad. Let's add a little bit more reflected light. Oh, looks good, looks good. And then it matches this side too. Yay, save. Yeah. Looks good. Okay, next one. Oh, here we go. The other behemoth. Haha, behemoth. The other behemoth. Shadow 2. And we actually move this layer on top of Shadow 1. At this rate, we have a little over half an hour left in this stream, so might be able to finish the secondary shadow color on all of the bees today. That'd be a really nice spot to leave off on, because tomorrow is Chibi Friday, so it's a different project. Alright, so at least we have this one to guide us that we've already done. It's going to be a little bit different though, because the light's hitting at a different angle. Actually, it might be a bit easier because there's less areas that need this darker shadow. Look, here's another area where it's just completely missed, and it's like at a straight line. I don't know how I've been able to miss all of these every time. Alright, let me get a little bit of this Shadow 1 color down first, so that I'll be able to copy it. And we're going to copy this Shadow 1 color, go to Shadow 1 layer, color that in. I'm looking around for any more. They must just be slipping my notice, because they're all at the edge like that too. But no matter. You fill it in. That's what's nice about digital art. You can always fix that kind of stuff. Of course, that's the problem with digital art, is that you can spend all this time fixing little things. That's a trade-off. Definitely want dark over here and here. So we'll just something like this, and this will be curving down. Something like that to start. Already looks really good, and then we didn't even do. Haven't even refined it yet. Oh, hold on a second. My eye is suddenly very itchy. better. Back to it. Back to it. Let's check it out. How does this look overall? We can add a little bit more here and some right here because there's 3 layers. Should be casting a little more shadow since the light's coming from this way. It looks pretty good. got so much more dimension. Yay! Only 2 more left. Oh, but you know what? I can do those little dots right here. That texture I've been adding to everybody. Every beady. Nice. Okay. So just this green one and the purple one above it. And so choose a little cooler and a little darker. This is another easy angled one. It's really straightforward. little bit more texture on the shadow 1 layer as well. Just looking really flat compared to all the other V's. I don't know if this one counts as big enough to put the dots on, but it's just a little smaller, and I've done it on these ones, so I think I will put the little dots on the smooth texture areas. I'm going to make this shadow 2 color a bit darker. Yeah, just want a little bit more contrast there. Maybe make it a little more saturated. No, that makes it lighter. Desaturated. That's right. We learned that earlier. Yeah, that's way better. Alright, one more bee. Got over 15 minutes left and only one bee left, and it's a really small one. think that's good. Let's save. So we're done with the shadow 2 layers on everything. 15 minutes left, so there's definitely time to start with shadow 3, which we were only going to do on certain areas. I think it was mostly just going to be on some flowers, including this real big one here, this one, maybe this one too. I think all of the flowers that have a bee actually resting on them need a 3rd level of shadow, and then this flower, because it's being partially shaded by this bee flying above it, also needs a little extra. And the only bee that looks like it could do with a 3rd level of shading is this one. We could just put a little bit extra right here. I think that would be really nice. Okay, so I don't want to do this big one. Let's do the little ones first. Let's tackle the little ones first. Might not even have time to finish this one today anyway, and I hate having to stop in the middle, so let's start with, we'll start on the left and work our way over to the right. So bloom's left layer is what we want, right? Yeah. And so we're going to add shadow 3. Is this actually include everything? No, it includes 2 of them that we're going to work on. So we're going to add a shadow 3 layer. This file has got to be gigantic by now in megabyte, gigabyte size. Okay. So many layers. And the file itself, let's see, the image I think is the size I want for printing. Oh, no, it's the size that I drew it as, which is fine. That makes it smaller. It makes a smaller file size. So for printing, I want to print at a 11 by 17. That's what I designed these all to be. Okay, so this one here. This is what we need. Let's pull in that shadow 2 color for the flowers and choose a cooler, darker color. Yes. Oh, 10-minute warning. Got my 10-minute calendar reminder. 10 minutes left in the stream. this rate, I might have to stop in the middle of a task anyway. So even this is the smallest flower on the left side of the image, and it's already taking quite a while. So this third shadow color isn't just about the shadow that the bee is casting. It's also for the flower, because the flower is curving down. The flower isn't flat, it's actually spherical. You're hearing that snoring, that's Aoife. Ooh, might be able to see she's in the upper puppy cam and her feet are twitching. She's having a dream. Maybe that's a bit too dark. I think I've added too much. It's a lot better. Alright, that's gonna have to be good enough for now. So we're at time. It actually looks pretty good. I'm a lot happier with the third level of shading now than I was a few minutes ago. Let's save it. And we'll come back to this piece next week with some fresh eyes. Or will it be next week? I might be taking next week off. Oh yeah. We won't be coming back next week. It is Independence Day next week. I like to take that week off as my summer vacation. So I won't be back next week working on this. So I'll be coming back on the 8th with some super refreshed eyes, 2 weeks off. Well, not quite 2 weeks, but basically a full week off, refresh my mind, and we'll come back and see what we think about that. So that's going to be it for today's live stream. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for everything you do to support me, Studio Mikarts. If you're new to my channel and want to see more, please follow Studio Mikarts on Twitch to get notified next time I go live. You can also support me by becoming a Twitch subscriber to get ad-free viewing and cute emotes, joining my Patreon for lovely illustrations in the mail, or sending some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. All the links are in my Twitch About section and in the YouTube description if you're watching the recording. I will be streaming again tomorrow, but we'll be working on my chibi cayenne pepper, which is going to be the next subscriber badge here on Twitch. So I hope to see you then. But either way, let me wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for watching.